Yerushalmi, did you give you a printout?
No. He puts it up on the screen. So.
Give me a minute here to get organized. Okay, so we're up to Halacha Gimel. Ein Eidim Nasim Zayim Min Ad She Yozuma Shnei Es Hatzman. Eidim Zayim Eidim not become Zayim until they cause themselves to be Mezimim. Moshe explains. I just not to Yozumas Eidim. They have to be themselves removed from the capacity of being Eidim because they could not have been in that place at that time or the wrong place at that time. Not nothing to do with who killed whom. In the Parish for Azil, like it went out like it went out, the Nafkula Mikra, you'll see, but so as possibly be sheker aid, sheker or no ad shea sheker b'uvachalim. It's the sheker, the aid is sheker. He stated sheker in and of himself, in that he said a statement which could not possibly be known to him. Receive sheker, trezim ne'opina. And we learned that it's from that it says sheker twice. Okay, so aim is nasim so much zumas asman ketzak. How so? Meeting on a beach pony, tragas and epesh. They say so and so killed the a person. They said, hey, them eating. How can you testify that? And a person who was killed, the person who was killed, was with us on that day, wherever it was. That's not said Euzomim. Of Amalin, they said them, hey, them eating shari atema yisim imonu osayom b'makom ploni. In other words, it's not a dispute as to the Horeg or the Nerag. Well, we know it's true. The Reuven did kill Shimon at that time, that place, but you weren't there. You were with somewhere else, right? I mean, there's some there, and there's some been knocking, and they're rugging up here, and they're killed based on the say-so of the people who are amazing them. If another group of witnesses came and said the first, in other words, the second group of witnesses were lying. In other words, the Eidim who were Mezim, the initial Eidim were lying. So a few Mea, even if they're 100 after each, one after another, Kulami Haragu, no killed. Rabbi Yehuda Mer Istisis Hizu. This is some sort of a plot, and the way the Pnei Moshe explains it, Istisis Hizu. Milashon stis v'tzavua. Stis is a type of dye or paint. So the klomar v'chidu a yore a shel tzvia. Is this witness testimony like a bucket full of paint? Shitzovas kol nogas, whether everybody who touches it is painted with the paint of being an Eitzaymin? Can't be.
That's like the riff in the Bavli. There's Malchagas in the Bavli. What is this means?
Okay, so this is. Oh, you're not seeing my video. Sorry, I didn't realize that. Let me just do that.
When we did the Bavli, we read it as Istatus. It's written different here. Which Girsa is right, or do they have two different Girsas?
How's it written in the Bavli?
Istatus.
Not with Samach second.
The two Tesses.
Yeah, I think that's just. I don't think that's a significant difference.
Doesn't Istatus mean, we learned Istatus to mean schemers or conspirators? Is that what it also means here?
I don't know which is the original word. It's a good question. I don't see anybody who. Let's see if there's somebody in the back that actually talks about it. Hold on. I'm gonna look it up in the Shai Torah Yisrael in a minute if I don't see something in the back. Karasel shall be shining does not seem to. No, that's not. The Scholars Yerushalmi does not have anything about it. Let's see if the Shai Torah Yisrael has something about it. There's nothing here, but that's a little nice. So then we would nice. The Gersa is istesis. With a aleph yud samech taf samech yud saf. Not and the Tiferes Yisrael says that it is B'lashon Yavan machlokes ve'irur. In Greek, that means a machlokes and a complaint. Is that so? Is that what Rashi says in the Bavli?
No, Rashi says that they're like plotters.
So this so it's not like either one. It certainly is there are many different Gersos here on the side. In the Shin Gersos you have istis, b'mishna she b'mishna Gemara istatis, Aleph Yud Samech Tes Yud Sof, Ayin Rashi Taisus, Befus, I think it's Napoli, istasis, I forget what this stands for. And in Xavier, one Xavier says istasi. Again, these are very similar to yourselves, but it doesn't tell us anything about the meaning. But the Rav says like or I should say, Pnei Moshe's Pshat is like the Bartanura. And so I get that it has to do with the dye, which would mean it's Aramaic, because it's this is
That's like the riff.
right. So that's Aramaic. So the Tiferes Yisrael, who says it's a machlokas viur from Greek, obviously it's only that's a Greek word. So it depends if it's a Greek word or a Aramaic word. We'll have to really look up what Greek is for a complaint or a argument. Through the wonders of Google Translate, we can do that pretty quickly. Let's see what it comes out to be. Hold on. Although it's ancient Greek, so it's not necessarily going to be accurate, but we can try. No, not even close. The argument in modern Greek is diaphonia. Let's see if we're going to complaint is something similar. Nope, complaint is catangelia. Let's see this word here.
Quick history question.
Wait, one second. There's the word asthenia, which means a disease. Maybe that's similar. I don't know. Yes. What's the question?
Yeah, by the Greeks' imperial times, did they have which ones did they speak?
By Greeks, what?
By the Greeks' high time, did they would they speak ancient Greek or regular Greek?
Ancient Greek. Yes.
Got it.
Okay, so I don't know for sure, but anyway, let's see what the Gemara says. Rabbi Baba says again. Actually, it says only the first group is killed because obviously it looks like some sort of a plot. You know what? Let's look up one last thing in Greek. That's what plot means. Plot. So not plot is an. Oh, what's this? Let's see. No, nothing close. Okay, Rabbi Baba memo. Okay, so here there are a lot of interesting discussions of what the Gersa should be. So Rabbi Bar Memo says, "Who share this should be Neher Go." And let's do the Mashbiach inside because the Mashbiach is the one who gives us these different Gersos here. Where is the Mashbiach here? Did I ever show you Mashbiach inside before? I must have. Well, let me get the Mashbiach quickly. So I'm going to scan it. You know what? I don't think I have to scan it. Just do it inside. It's not that hard. He says that Okay, the way is this like this. Rabbi Bob Bar Memo, who shener go. That's proper diktuk, right? Because it said who shener rag. Who's that going on? Who that be going? It said who shener rag, like it says in Gemara.
The one
Come
who was
on.
killed.
What?
The one who was killed.
One was killed, which means the person who they accused,
The
right?
victim.
The accused murderer. If you want to say a kat of 80 was killed, then we'd say neher ga, because a kat is a nekeva, right?
So
The
like
kat
Rabbi
of-
Yehuda,
What?
like Rabbi Yehuda, that we don't trust them.
Yes. So he says, right? No, not necessarily. 1 second. The Rashbi changes from hu shenerag to the hu shener ga, right? The first kat. Avol im od lo neherga, but the first kat has not yet been killed. Again, change of nerak nerga. Lo, it should be bedah. He ditninon ein nereges elakas rishon bilvad. So in that, going as you said in Rabbi Yehuda, we don't say that only the first kat is killed. Kamar lo bezeh kniya b'mishna she'ein nereges elakas rishon bilvad. In that case, we don't say that only the first group is killed. If they didn't kill them, they're also not killed. Yeah, if they haven't killed them, they're not killed. He says, Yerushalmi kabavli daf hey sham. So the Yerushalmi is like the Bavli. In other words, it's not the pshat that we always kill the first group. If the first group hasn't been killed, we don't kill them either. Only if the first group is killed, so the buck stops there. So then we say that it's not that group was the first one killed. That was only one was killed. So let's say it again. The Baba Mel said Lushanerga, the first group. Avil lo nerga, if it's not killed. Now lo it says lo hada, right? Lo hada means that's not it. Lo bida means that's not in that case. Hada means this. Bida means in this, right? So lo, the essay changes lo hada to lo bida. And now in this case, we say he detina ain't regular kasi shana bilvad. In the case where they're still alive, we don't say the first group was killed. Okay, so again, it's Rabbi Yehuda, like you said before, and it's saying that the only time we say that kasi shana regular is if it's after the fact. It's too bad they got killed. It's unfortunate. It's tragic, but there's nothing we can do about it. But if nobody's been killed yet, then okay, nobody gets killed. Because if it's the status, then I say, we're not going to kill anybody here. Okay. Again, in the Mishnah, we only caught it after the first group was killed. They're killed. There's nothing to do about it. If we catch it before it was killed, the first group is killed, nobody gets killed. Okay. Rabbi Zira. Rabbi Marchi asked Rabbi Zira, how you owned in? How you owned the medium of love shrugs and nefesh belud? They came and they said that okay, that he killed somebody in Lud. How do you say that? You with us on Hey Teves in Kesari, right? Now, what's going on here? Obviously, so let's see the Gilin Ephraim. Gilin Ephraim explains what Gemara is talking about. It says. The witnesses came and said that the murder took place on Hey Teves in Lud. And other people came and said to them, wait a minute, on the 5th day of Teves, you're with us in Kesari. This is what the word says afterwards, so I'm just going to read now. How can you say that the first that you were with that you were in the 5th day of Teves in Kesari? On the 10th day, you were with us in Tzipori. Remember Gamla Parcha from the Bayush Babli? So here's a similar idea. It's saying, how can you say the Adams, not the initial Adam, the initial Adam say that they were in Lud on the 5th day of Teves. Then Adam Zoymin come and say, not Adam Hamazimin, come and say, not happy. You were with us in Kesari on that day. And then another group of Adam comes and says, this is, so we had Reuben and Shimon, the first group. Then we had Levi and Yehuda, the second group. Now Yisachar and Zvulun come and say, no, Levi and Yehuda, on Asar B'Teves, you're with us in Tzipori. And you could not have gotten from Kesari to Tzipori in 5 days unless you had a super fast camel. Not possible. It's too far away. Okay. When we boil it, Rabbun. So ask Rabbun has asked question. Imarminon, do we say Hahorek Enu Nerag? Do we say the person who killed, the accused murderer is not killed? Sharehi Zimo Edim. Shamu Shag Chamish Balun. Because the Edim said that they killed on the 5th day of Balun were found to be Edim Zomi. Shamu Shag Chamish Kesorim. Because they said that they were on the 5th day of in Kesorim, right? And after all, okay, it's true that now you saw him and said, wait a minute, but I saw B'Tevis, you're with us in Tzipori. Still, Dilma B'Gama Parcha as the Tzipori. Maybe they got the Tzipori by Gama Parcha. So in this case, Gama Parcha is fascinating. It's not really like the Bavli. We're using Gama Parcha to say that maybe the Ein Zomim Levi and Yehuda are not Eidim Zomim in themselves because maybe they talk out of Gamla Parcha and they got from Kisar Titzpori in less than 5 days, right? So maybe still the accused murderer is killed, right? Right? Because I'm sorry, maybe Reuven and Shimon are attacking Eidim Zomim because Levi and Yehuda saw them in Kesari on that day on Chamish on Hay Teves. How could Levi and Yehuda gotten to Tzipori in 5 days where you saw them doing Salam Asar Teves? Not a kasha. They got to a Gama Parcha. So a Gama Parcha in this case would be a legitimate way of getting there. It's a fleet-footed camel, literally. It's not some sort of a mystical creature, a Gama Parcha, which gets it super fast. It's reasonable to assume that if you have a normally fast camel, you can get from Chisori to Tzipori in 5 days. So what do we say? Do we assume that they had a normally fast camel? Again, not a supernatural camel, but just a reasonably fast camel. And it was possible to get from Chisori to Tzipori in 5 days or not? Okay? So that's the question is. Imar minan horek eno nerag treyizimu edim shamus horek b'chamish balud, because Aim would say there are 50 of lud were found to be ein zomim she'amru shehayu b'chamish kesar, because we said there are 50 of kesar. But dimma gama karcha as itzvari, maybe they got by gama parcha itzvari. V'edim en haragim. And the Eidim are not killed. Shem emes amru shehorak, because maybe he did kill. V'amazim shemusha b'keisari huzmu. The Zimu said in Keisari, they're Muslim shrei b'yu b'yud b'tzipori. So that the question is, do we take not Reuben and Shimon and say, well, maybe Levi and Yehuda are lying because they wouldn't need a Gama Parcha to get to Tzipori, where Yisachar saw them on the 10th day of Teves. Maybe they're not lying because maybe they did have a Gama Parcha. So the nafkamina is going to be obviously if we believe Reuven and Shimon in order to kill the murderer. The Ikar Sheilason, his main question is Ima Horek Enonera. If the accused murderer is not killed, the Kim should see Vitzilu Aida. It says that we got to go to the utmost in order to save this person, right? Even by murder. It's a big chiddush, by the way. By somebody who committed a religious crime, Michal Shabbos, there's something else of that sort, we try and save him as much as possible. But by murder, there's a halacha biyatura mikir becha. Really, if you have a murderer, you're supposed to try and get rid of him. It's not the same thing like a mason, like a missionary, where you go out of your way to get rid of him. But by murder, also there's a halacha biyatura mikir becha. You have to try and you should make sure if you not to let him off the hook if he's on the hook. By Chilul Shabbos, we'll try to get him off the hook. By Mesis, we're going to try to get him on the hook. By somebody who is a murderer, he's in the middle. We're not going to try to put him on the hook, but we're not going to try too hard to get him off the hook. So what do we say in this case? Since it says Vitzilo Eda, do I say that still I should be done, so to speak, the kafskus? I should say they came to Vitzilo Eda meal is so we say in his merit, Shamazimin Holchu Begam Makar Parcha B'Tzipori Vlozmu. That the Mazimin, the people who said the Reuben and Shimon line, even Yehuda, they managed to get from Kesor to Tzipori and a Gamla Parcha by a Sorbatevis, and therefore they're not lying, and and therefore the Horeg is not Nerag, but Reuben and Shimon is Zarmim. They say no, they couldn't have gotten that far. So therefore, it's in that unless they got Parcha, which is not so available. So therefore, that means that Reuben and Shimon's testimony is correct because Levi, we remove Levi and Yehuda, and therefore the murderer should be killed. Okay, so let's see on slide again. So Gemara says, they were testifying that he killed somebody in Lu, right? The murderer killed somebody in Lu. That's what it should. And other people came and said, how can you testify that? That's Levi and Yehuda say, you was that's 58 months. Okay, sorry. But they saw him came and said, how can you testify that you saw the case sorry and Chamisha Matevis, Shariatem Isimona Basar Bachash Bitzipori? You with us on the 10th day of the month of Tzipori. Hahorek Eno Nera. So in this case, you know what we say? We say that Horek, the accused murderer, is not killed. Shema Edim Zoyme. Because they might be Edim Zoyme, right? Because Reuben and Shimon might be liars. But also Edim Edim Neragim. Reuben and Shimon also not killed. Shema Emes Amru, because maybe they're telling the truth. So in this case, we let everybody off the hook. Since we say Vitzilo Eda, we try our best to save people, even in this case. So I think we finished. Yeah. Since we do our best to save people, no matter what. So therefore, it's not possible that we kill anybody. It's not possible. We don't kill anybody. We don't kill accused murderer because maybe Reuben and Shimon were Edim Zoyme. We don't kill.
So there are three groups in this case.
What?
There are three groups of Edom in this case.
Yes. Reuben and Shimon testified that that the murderer was somewhere else. Levi and Yehuda testified that Reuben and Shimon was somewhere else, and not they were somewhere else. That they were somewhere else, and Yisachar and Zvulun say, well, how can you say that? Because how can Levi and Yehuda say that they couldn't have been where they say they were? Because 5 days later they're with us, and that was much too far to get in 5 days. So in this case, nobody gets killed because we don't know for sure what happened. So therefore, we have to say the murderer can't get killed because maybe Reuben and Shimon were Edim Zoyme. Reuben and Shimon can't get killed because maybe Levi and Yehuda are Edim Zoyme. Nobody gets killed. Okay, because it's possible with a Gamla Parcha to get from Kesari to Tzipori in 5 days. Nobody gets killed. Now, what's difficult with the real Sefraim is a beautiful shot. What's difficult with it is that the word Gamla Parcha is not mentioned here in the Gemara. Right? It doesn't say it here. In the Bible, he uses the words Gamla Parcha. It doesn't say it here. We're assuming that the word this is a case of Gamla Parcha. Right? But it doesn't say that. Right? It just says, so you have to introduce the concept of Gamla Parcha in order to say that, okay, that's why they might have been telling the truth, because maybe they got to get to Tzipori very quickly. So but that's the Or Sameach says the same shots, and he says Yerushalmi argues in the Bavli, and he said that Yerushalmi says, I just basically told you this already, but Yerushalmi will just say Gamla Parcha Kula to save the Edim. The Bavli uses Gamla Parcha the Chumrah. How does the Bible use Gamla Parcha again? Who remembers?
That I would have thought that we could say that they had a Gamla Parcha, so it could be that they're telling the truth. That Reuben killed Shimon, but we don't assume that they had an unreasonably fast camel. So we do make them chayav misah.
That we
Right.
go by possible. We go by
We go by probable,
not
not
possible.
Right. And here we're saying that the opposite. We're saying gamba parflu kula.
We do assume that they might have had a
Right.
house camp.
They might have had gamba parcha. Okay. So the
What's
again,
a machlokes Bavli and Yerushalmi?
that's what the Samach says about Machlokes Bavli and Yerushalmi.
But what's wrong with the gears? Why do we need gamla parcha? Why can't we just say that it's a case where there's more than one? If you have double Edom Zomer, why can't we just say that this is a case of double Edom Zomer?
Well, the question: how you do what do we do with this this lashon here? Let me point out here. Right? Well, how is that relevant? Right? It says, okay, you said you were for the 5th month in case 5th day of the month in case, sorry, right? The other 8 came and said you can't say because the 10th day of the month you're in Sipori. So there's something missing here. So what? That's 5 days later. So that what is going on? Why are these considered to be Eidim Zaymin? That's why you have to introduce the Gamma Park in order to explain that. It must be that it's very difficult to get from Kesari to Tzipori in 5 days unless you have a Gamma Park. But you know what? We'll say Gamma Park. We'll say they didn't get there that quickly, and therefore nobody's killed. Okay. Halachah. Ein Eidim Zaymin Nerogim Achu Gemara Din. Eidim Zaymin not killed until the Gemara Din. By the way, it already told me the Zoom sent me less than 10 minutes, even though the remaining meeting time is 10 minutes and 10 seconds. So as usual, I don't know when they're going to cut us off. Okay, so but we'll get as far as we can.
It's not 10 minutes. It's not 10 minutes. It shows over here that it's 4 minutes and 30 seconds.
It shows 4 minutes and 30 seconds by you?
Yeah, that's what it shows on my screen on the top left.
Because maybe since somebody got on, that's weird. It could be they're starting not from when I get on, but when
Mine shows 14 minutes.
Yours shows
I think
14,
it goes.
mine shows 4.
Mine shows 9:40. So
mine
I think it just goes when you got on. You have 40 minutes from when you got on.
All right. So in future, guys, try and get on as close to 7 as possible, because it might start from when the first time somebody gets on, even though it shouldn't. It should start from when I get on, but I don't know if it's not. It is. So right? The Tzogim say the Eid Zayim not killed unless the accused is actually killed. Whereas we hold that no, if he's actually killed, then the Eid Zayim don't get killed. It's only if between Gemara Din and the actual execution that Eid Zayim come. That's when the Eid Zayim are killed. So for a soul. So it must be that the accused is dead. Chacham said no. He says, it says you have to do to him like he plotted to do to his brother. That means his brother is still alive. Because if he's dead, he's not his brother. Interesting, Josh. So why I say it's slow for a soul. It's going to tell us, you might think that once they were a Kabbalah the Edus, they're already subject to death. No, it's only until he's, as we say in English, a dead man walking. It's only if they made the accused a dead man walking by a Gemara Din being pronounced, that then the Eidim Zayim are killed. Because although he's not yet dead, he's still Achiv, he is a Gavra Ktila. He's a walking dead. Right? So therefore, if somebody kills him at that point, they're not killed because he is a person who is facing death penalty. So therefore, at that point, Eidim Zayim can be killed, not afterwards.
But they still killed someone before they would have been killed, even if they would have taken away another 2 days. Even if the dead man walking would have still had 2 days, it took away 2 days of possible mitzvahs.
Yeah, but
That's
it's not
only
2 days because we have Inoy Din and Kansav Inoy
That's
Din
only just
as soon as possible.
That's once it's a Gemara Din that we don't say that. We say by a person who's a ghost. We say if you kill him early, that you put to death because he's still 2 more days to live. But not once he had a psak.
Yeah, but you're not gonna. It's not like someone ran up to kill him as he was in the noose, like. So,
no, but it's the same halacha. You're right. It's not the same, but it's still the same in halacha.
But also, don't we have Inoy Adin, and that has to be right
Yeah, but-
after?
Okay, but that, let's say he's talking about a case, let's say they, unfortunately, they were ma'an as a din, right? They're not supposed to, but let's say they were. So the question is, know that those 2 days, is it considered to be a gavra ketila or not? And the answer is that he is considered a gavra ketila.
But even like you said, Eagle, that Inohedin doesn't, unless I'm wrong, and doesn't mean that as soon as they finish Kumar Din, they walk him out to the thing right away. They don't. They put him in a cell for a few hours. No.
No, they're supposed to take him out right away. They might not. But theoretically, they're supposed to take him out right away.
Oh, okay, fine.
Okay, but they might not. You're right, because circumstances could arise that they don't do it. But ideally speaking, they would. Okay, the Gemara says now a very cryptic thing, and I don't know, again, I'm not sure we're going to be able to explain it today. Rabbi Zira. Rabbi Zira said, our Mishnah teaches us. Remember, I said before, between Bida and Hada. So the Hada means this teaches us. Eid Zomim, Einon Nifso, but based in. Eid Zomim is not possible in based in, Elme Asmo Nifso. He's possible on his own. So, what does that mean? So the Aruch HaShulchan has a parish on Yerushalmi. It's called the Meichal HaMayim. And in the Meichal HaMayim, he says that Yerushalmi